everyone, happy continuing in the Lenten season. I just wanted to give you an encouragement with my experience with prayer. A few years ago, I believe it was about 2.5 years ago or so, we had Zach Ivy, thank you for this. In the youth ministry, we had taken time apart of what we normally did as a prayer together, and he kind of challenged us all as a youth ministry, and as the students were in there as well. He said something along the lines of, you can't accidentally pray for 10 minutes if you don't intentionally pray for 10 minutes in a disciplined section. Something along those lines. And I had realized, like, that's right, you don't accidentally do something. You can't accidentally run 6 miles if you haven't been training for those things. And so I think those are the good spiritual conditionings where it becomes so familiar. And now I can say, I could pray, this was a while ago and I've since changed different things, but there have been moments where I catch myself praying, I'm like, oh, I didn't even realize I was praying. But you know, when you think like, I'm just thinking for just a minute, and you're like, oh, it's turned into a prayer. And that is when I have just realized, and I have prayed my entire life, I've prayed in tongues my entire life. Those are the things that I feel like have been consistent in my life. But the things that I notice change when you take extra time, when you take more time than what's normal, or where you might find it as an inconvenient time to pray. Make the time and make it convenient for you, because God will honor those times. And then you will see, and I know this to be true, you will see pleasure in God's presence. There's something that changes when you take the intentional time and you get to be with Him and you get to communicate with Him. You get to hear His heart. You get to see how He speaks to His people. And I think this is so encouraging for people who have friends. If you don't have friends, contact one of us at a church. This is a great thing to talk about. It's to talk about how God talks to you. And God, a lot of the time, has talked to me in prayer. And I do a lot of questioning, like, God, what does it look like this? Or how did Adam feel like when he left your presence? Or those kind of things I question. And a lot of times in those moments of prayer is where I get to see not just answers, but I just get to see the God who's the answer to those questions. And I get to spend time with Him. But I so encourage you, block out time. In the same way that you block out time for a workout, in the same time that you block out time for appointments, block out time for prayer and add it into your schedule. Add it into your schedule. This time it's talking about adding in more prayer. So if it looks like in your car, if you usually listen to music, turn off your music and pray. If you usually listen to a podcast, turn off the podcast, even if it's a Christian podcast, and pray. And then really just recognize the face of God, that we are here to seek Him, and we are here to praise His name and just commune with our God the same way that we commune with a friend. And I have seen the benefits of it in my life, because I catch myself now praying where I would naturally have just been thinking about something. I begin to pray about it as my first instinct. And I encourage you, it is a great spot to be when you take time with God. And then it becomes this habit that just gets formed throughout your life, and you'll find yourself praying and communing with God. Have a good day.